Do you know the difference between stative and action verbs? The answer is simple. Stative verbs describe a state. Action verbs describe an action. This is all for now. The lesson is over. That's a joke, of course. Let's continue. Dear students, we support people who are interested in learning English grammar and take it seriously. Hey friends, guess what? We've just picked a comment at random. Big congrats to our winner. Slide into our emails so we can hook you up with your textbook. Up next, dive into our latest grammar vid, spot that special keyword, and drop it in a comment. Who's going to snag the next textbook? If you're all about that grammar life, it could be you. Stative and action verbs. In the exciting world of English grammar, understanding the distinction between stative and action, or dynamic verbs, is a vital step in mastering the language. First, let's recall what verbs are. In English grammar, a verb is the part of the speech which denotes an action, both physical or mental, or state/condition of a person or a thing, and answers the question, what to do with a person/object. Verbs are the heart of sentences, describing what we do and how we express our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Even one-word sentences contain a verb. For example, stop. Why do we need stative and action verbs? Stative and action, also called dynamic verbs, are two important categories of verbs, each serving a unique purpose in our language. Let's dive in and explore these categories to build a solid grammatical foundation. And we'll start with action or dynamic verbs. These verbs bring life to your sentences by describing actions that can be seen, heard, or felt. They paint a picture of things happening physically or in motion. You can use action verbs to talk about running, jumping, dancing, and many other exciting activities. These verbs are often found in sentences with continuous tenses, indicating actions in progress. Example of action verbs: run, swim, sing, play, etc. Let's see them in the sentences. He is running in the park. They swam in the pool yesterday. She sings beautifully in the choir. I have played against many top players. Stative verbs. On the other hand, stative verbs describe states, conditions, thoughts, emotions, senses, or possession. Instead of showing action, they express what something is, how someone feels, or what someone knows. These verbs are typically not used in continuous tenses. They prefer the simplicity of simple tenses to convey meaning. Examples of stative verbs: like, love, belong, understand, etc. Here are some sentences. I like ice cream, expressing a preference. She loves her dog, expressing an emotion. The book belongs to me, expressing possession. He understands the lesson, expressing a mental state. Interesting. It's worth noting that although it's grammatically incorrect to use stative verbs in continuous sentences, native speakers do it all the time. The most famous example is the McDonald's slogan, "I'm loving it." Grammar differences between stative and action verbs. The key difference between action and stative verbs is how they are used with verb tense. Action verbs. They represent physical actions or processes. Due to this, active verbs can be used in the continuous tenses, which show an action in progress. Stative verbs. Keep in mind that stative verbs describe situations that are unlikely to change. Due to this, stative verbs are usually not used in the continuous tenses, and they are often used with simple tenses to express a state or condition. Compare. Action verb. She is running. Action in progress. Stative verb. I like ice cream. Expressing a state. Can the verb unite so different action and stative aspects? What do you think? Yes, some verbs function as both stative and dynamic verbs. Compare sentences. I think that English tenses is a difficult topic, and I am thinking about my wife right now. In the first sentence, the verb think expresses the idea of mental state, but in the second sentence, think expresses the process of action. Another pair of sentences. We have a luxury house. We're having a party on Sunday. And again, in the first sentence, the verb have expresses possession, so it serves as the stative verb. In the second sentence, the same verb have expresses the action. Here are the list of the verbs that, depending on the situation, can serve both as action and stative verbs. Look, appear, see, have, think, taste, be, feel, smell. Please note, quite often you can see some stative verbs with ing endings, which is very confusing. Are they stative or dynamic? Let's have a look at stative verb know at the sentences. He knows the answer. No doubt that in case know is the stative verb. He's proud of knowing things before we do. In this case, knowing is in the form of the gerunds, not in the continuous tense. What is a gerund? That's a great question, and you can find the answer by watching this video. A hint will appear in the upper right corner. In the gerund form, knowing serves as a noun. Let's summarize what we've learnt about stative and action verbs so far. Recap. Action verbs show physical actions and can be used in continuous tenses. Common action verbs: jump, run, dance, swim, play, walk, etc. Stative verbs express states, thoughts, emotions, or possession, and are not typically used in continuous tenses. Common stative verbs: like, love, belong, understand, see, smell, etc. Some verbs can be both stative and action. Examples: see, have, feel, think, etc. As you progress in your English learning, you'll encounter more verbs that fall into these categories, and you'll get a better understanding. Is this stative verb or action verb or gerund? And when to use each type of verb in various contexts.